We actually called Murray's. We got some prices on peanut butter, and apparently peanut butter is more expensive if you buy it at Whole Foods. At Murray's, it's $2. At Whole Foods, it's $2.79. Might not sound like a lot to some people. It might be a lot to others. DC residents on food stamps, $144,000. Clinton, Whole Foods will be more expensive, even if they reach out to folks in the community and have cooking classes. It's going to be more expensive.
Right, but I just, there's something I want to make clear here. I think there's a perception problem that is a bigger issue with Whole Foods and so forth. I mean, this notion that if it's if it's more affordable for people of lesser income or fixed income, that it should somehow be like a lesser rate thing. I think that's sort of in itself a problem, is that this notion that sustainable and affordable are kind of two different things. And I would caution people to think that just because a Whole Foods comes in, people who are on a certain amount of income or of a certain socioeconomic level should just feel turned off because of just the price. I mean, there's a social pressure there that I would hope Whole Foods would try to sort of eliminate for the purposes of not just their own looks, but the neighborhood in general. I mean, you don't want to have a highly segregated place for anything more than just people's choices.
But I mean, doesn't the pressure end up coming from Whole Foods moves in, prices are high at that Whole Foods, property values go up, and people are priced out.
Yeah, it also
and they
depends
have to move
on
away.
who you hire to work in your store. I mean, this is another way to have community outreach that allows people to feel a little differently about what you're offering.
When I was at Murray's today, a 3-pound bag of apples was $3, $1 a pound. I guarantee you there's no Whole Foods where you're going to be able to buy apples for $1 a pound. I mean, it really, I think, does come down to fundamental economics. You just talked about the food stamp cut. We know that low-income families, by the end of the month, generally have empty cupboards and empty refrigerators. They are figuring out the best way to stretch a dollar to buy their food. And if you have a choice to go to a low-cost store, whether it's Walmart or Murray's, versus a Whole Foods, I think there's just no question that it's not only a matter of cultural concerns or marketing, it's a matter of what people can afford.
Yeah.
That people simply can't afford.
And I don't expect Whole Foods to suddenly start marketing to low-income residents. That's just not who their demographic
It's sort of,
is.
it's sort of not their brand. I mean,
I
we're in an era
I guess
when
that's what I'm saying.
High-quality, high-priced food.
Right.
That's
I don't think that it's unreasonable to consider a shift on that front from on their part. I mean, I just, from a simple business standpoint, it wouldn't make sense to just push people out like that, because you're going to turn off people. You're going to turn off people who can afford the food as well if they feel like they're all of a sudden in some weird exclusive market. And that's what my point is here, is that you change the perception about who this food is available to. And I know that obviously the market forces are extremely important, but the perception there, I think, a lot of times is, if you don't feel like you can even walk in because it's not for you, it's going to completely change the way you view things. And I think Whole Foods has an opportunity to change the sort of branding and the association
people make in their heads about Whole Foods.
I think they do.
And where you shop as a sort of marker of class, which is where we are now. Right?
Whether they do it or not, I don't know.
I hope they do.
There's a certain opportunity for that.